Yay! And we're live. Woo! It has been quite the morning, to say the least. Uh, Goodness gracious. Anyway, I'm gonna give people a few minutes to kind of get into the chat, to get into the video, and watch what we're doing, and then I will wrap up what we're doing today. This morning I was having some not a lot, but like some internet issues, and it was just so much fun, to say the least. Anyway, so for those of you that are here, first things first, we got to talk about the update to fantasy football because there have been some clinches happening. Um, Certain teams have clinched their spots in the playoffs, and it's I can talk about various chances of various teams. I just have to be able to bring up the right screen that I need. Let's see if I can change this to no. That's going to be the browser window. What if I just wanted to put up the screen? There's me. Yeah. So I could do window capture. Let's do that, and it won't let me. What if it's not window capture? Maybe it's something else. I wanted to show you the spreadsheet. I have the spreadsheet ready to go to kind of show you and gloat about how good my team is doing still. Let me see here. No, I don't want to enter a new scene. I want to enter in a display capture. Ooh, maybe that's what I need, is a display. Nope, that is definitely not what I need. I don't need a display capture. Otherwise, I'm going to just have to bring up the fantasy football website. Media source, maybe? Let's try media source. No, definitely not a media source. I've never had to show a spreadsheet in Excel form. Well, what if I did? Yeah, what if it was display capture? Yeah, let me throw up display capture. It'll show this for a moment, which is like, what in the heck is going on there? But then if I show this, I believe it should work. Yeah, but then if I show this, it's here. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, fine. I'm just going to bring up the website itself. Remove you. Remove you. The browser is going to be here. Click. And then I'm going to bring up this. Fantasy, Mouth of Sports, standings. So unfortunately, I won't be able to show you my rankings this week because I can't figure that out. But at the very least, we can talk about where the standings are and where people are at. So as you can see here, the top four teams, which you can see, team owners right there. Obviously Stone Baker, Pollock DeLeo, Del Percio Guarino, and me. We have all clinched our spots in the playoffs. We have all clinched our spots in the playoffs. The reason why is because there are, I believe, 2 regular season games left. Yep, 2 regular season games left. And even if the teams below us, like for example, if Herod Santo could pass and Tully Maggi could tie 8 wins, but the 7th team can't get 8 wins. So everyone from 4 up has clinched a playoff spot. Now, for the teams below, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are technically still eligible. They're technically still eligible. Everyone up through 10th place is technically still eligible. The reason why is because, well, if you get those 2 wins, you could potentially, anyone with 4 wins could potentially tie Tully Maggi. Where are their points at? 1232, and I mean, they could, if they wanted to, they could get up there. And of course, Cogliano can absolutely leapfrog one of these teams. So basically, unfortunately, Odell, Poopy Hands, and Team Riser, you guys have been eliminated, to say the least. I don't know when this team was eliminated, but they were eliminated a while ago. But yeah, that's where we're kind of at. In terms of the first round bye, nothing is clinched in terms of a first round bye. Absolutely nothing. But here are the projected playoff brackets as of today. That's who would be in the projected playoff bracket. But none of those are guaranteed. None of those spots are clinched. That's where we're kind of at right now, just to give you that heads up. Let me go back to the top down menu right here and go back to here. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys in terms of where we're at. So once we're back, which we're not going to be back next week. Well, you guys aren't going to be back next week. I should be back in my classroom next week. But if I'm back in my classroom next week, and obviously won't be able to, do everything that I wanted to do, but we'll be able to make do with what we have. Yay! Oh happy day! Oh happy day! That's where we're at. Oh happy day. So, in lieu of that, what I would like to do, sorry, there's a cat scratching at the door. What I would like to do is I would like to wrap up some of the things that we wanted to do with, or some of the things that I wanted to do with punting and angles and things of that nature. This is going to wrap up the angles portion of football. We're going to stick with football a little bit after the angles portion, but we'll kind of get there when we get there. So, if you would, if you do not already have them out, I'm going to need those notebooks out and open. Yeah! Woo! Excitement. So, today is the 25th, and this is going to be the angles formulas portion of these lessons. Now, just as a reminder, you do have a worksheet due for me today at 2 o'clock. Last class, we set up each of those problems. So if you need help going through those problems, definitely go back and rewatch that live stream from Monday, because that is when I reviewed those problems with you, and I basically did the setup to allow you to solve those problems. Just taking a quick peek at the angles worksheet, it looks like a few of you have already turned it in. The usual suspects, the ones who are turning it in. But I digress. We'll kind of go here. So last class, when we were going over one of those problems, I introduced to you a formula, and I wanted to reintroduce this formula to you now. And this is the hang time formula. I'm going to call it the hang time formula just for the sake of argument. This is the hang time formula. The hang time formula is calculated like such. And I'm going to write this out first. And then we're going to talk about how this is going to be used. The hang time formula obviously measures hang time. How long is a projected object in the air? Now, this projected object could be from a football pass, it could be from a punt, it could be from a baseball player hitting a ball. It all depends. And the two main things that determine how long that object is in the air are going to be the initial velocity, and the angle of elevation. Now, that doesn't take into account hang time. This doesn't take into account distance. Goodness. Because that's not what this question is talking about. This question is basically talking about, or this formula is talking about, how long is the object in the air for? Now, obviously, there are other things to take into account. Defensive players. If you're hitting a home run, if it's hitting like one of the grandstands or one of the decks or levels or something like that. If a bird gets in the way, for reference, for reference, I would go YouTube search Randy Johnson hitting a bird with a fastball. You know what? I think I may have already shown this, but I think I want to show it again just for the fun of it. I'm going to look it up and see if I can show this. I don't know if you'll get the desktop volume on this, but I just want to show it anyway. Randy Johnson bird. I'm gonna have to change my. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna have to change my thing over website. There we go. So you're gonna be able to see what I'm seeing right here. You may not be able to hear what I'm. You may not be able to hear it, but you'll definitely be able to see what I'm seeing right here. But this is Randy Johnson during a minor league game. Again, these formulas don't take into account outside factors. Outside factors. There we go. Outside factors like this. Boom! Can you see that? Hold on, do it again. Watch this, watch this. Boom. Dude threw a fastball. Nailed a bird. Are they going to show it in slow motion? They're going to show it in slow motion. But this is what I'm saying, like, you know, the hang time. The hang time of the ball is basically the angle, the velocity. Boom! My word. I'm sorry. I gotta stop showing that. I really gotta stop showing that. I'm gonna flip this thing back over. So, it was just an amazing video. I'm just saying. Anyway, back to this. So, for example, let's talk about a punter. Let's just say a punter problem. A punter kicks the ball at a 65-degree angle with a velocity of 66 miles per hour. Oh, that's the cat again. I gotta let the cat in. But anyway. I know, right? And the question then becomes is, well, how long is the ball in the air? How long is the ball in the air for? Well, in this particular instance, I want to be very clear about something. This time right here, this time is going to be measured in seconds. Now, yes, we do have miles per hour. We're going to have to do a conversion. We're going to have to do a conversion in terms of, let's say, feet per second. It would be very much in our interest if we were to convert this into feet per second in order to actually plug it into the formula. Because that's what that initial velocity is typically measured in. So, to be very clear about this formula, T is seconds, V sub 0, for the sake of argument, is feet per second. So we're going to have to do a conversion here, as we've done multiple times in the past. So let's actually just knock that out real quick. So if we're going to knock out that conversion real quick, this would be 66 miles per hour times 1 hour is 60 minutes times 1 minute is 60 seconds. Let's see, hours, minutes, and then 1 mile is 5,280 feet. These are the conversions that we've done over and over and over again. If you give me 10 seconds, I have to go let my cat in the room. Here we are. Okay. Hold on. Oh, he ran away. I was going to show you my cat like I was in elementary school, but he decided to run away from me. Anywho, what is wrong with me? Probably lots. Anyway, I gotta do this conversion. So let me see what this looks like right here. Here we go. Move that into the sunlight. Move this back over here. There we go. Good. I would have to do 66 miles an hour divided by 60 divided by 60 multiplied by 5280, and it gives us right on the dot 96.8 feet per second. That conversion has to be done. That conversion has to be done because to use this formula properly, t is measured in seconds and the initial velocity is measured in feet per second. Something that I didn't specify on Monday, but I want to make sure that I specify that now, of course. So if we were going to determine, well, how long is that ball going to be in the air for? Let me bring that formula back a little bit. There we go. Stay there. There we go. The formula would then end up being 96.8 times sine of 65 divided by 16. Now, you have graphing calculators on your computer. And as I mentioned last class, and hopefully every class that we've done, sine, cosine, and tangent, is the fact that you have to make sure that you change the settings, the mode on your calculator to be in degrees. You have to. If you don't change the mode, it will give you the wrong answer. I need you to be careful here. So on my calculator, when I hit mode, and it might be slightly difficult to read, it's small, but you can still read it. Right there, I'm highlighted on the word radian. You need to make sure that you tab over and change it to degree. Otherwise, this will not work correctly. You need to change from radians to degrees. It has to. I'm emphasizing that a lot just because it needs to happen. So, the calculation that's going to take place, 96.8 times sine of 65, close your parentheses, divided by 16. Boom! That ball kicked by the punter will be in the air approximately 5.48 seconds. Now, it's a little bit of a game here because you're trying to determine, okay, what angle do I put it at? What speed do I put it at? Because I need to have it in the air for this amount of time in order to allow my teammates to get down there in order to tackle the guy. I mean, obviously, if he's going to fair catch it, there we go. And the longer that that ball is in the air for, the more likely the guy is going to call for a fair catch, which is nice. There won't be a return. When the guy returns it, that's going to be dangerous. As a punter, it's a little bit of a chess match. Now, the other half of that chess match is how far he is going to punt it. How long is it going to be in the air versus how far does he need to punt it? So, there's an additional formula. I just talked about the hang time formula, but now we have to talk about the following formula. This is the horizontal distance formula. This is the horizontal distance formula. Now, this is a formula that I did not introduce to you last time. In fact, on that particular worksheet, I crossed out the part of the problem that dealt with this simply because I hadn't taught it yet, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to do those problems. But the horizontal distance formula is this. D equals V sub 0 times cosine of theta times time. It matters how long that thing is in the air for. How long is it in the air for? And then you can figure out horizontal distance based on the angle of elevation and the initial velocity. And again, just to be clear, initial velocity is measured in feet per second, as always. Theta is measured in degrees, of course. T is measured in seconds. It's the same concept, just different kind of problem. Now we have our punter. Our punter in the previous problem kicked it at a 65-degree angle. So again, let me just bring back some of those things. A 65-degree angle at 96.8 feet per second. We calculated that last time. And now that we've done the calculation for the hang time formula, we know that t is equal to 5.48 seconds. Have I frozen again? I'm pretty sure I'm frozen again. Goodness gracious. I cannot believe this has happened again. You all can still see me talking in the corner of the screen. You can still see me talking in the corner of the screen, but then the thing is frozen down below. And I know why that is. It happened in first period. It happened in first period. Goodness gracious. Let's see here. Give me a moment. I just need to reconnect to the Wi-Fi on my phone. And once I reconnect to the Wi-Fi on my phone, then I can reconnect to this thing right here, hopefully. Let me close that. Well, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. I have a backup plan. I do have a backup plan, but that backup plan is going to be a little bit weird. For a moment, I can still obviously... you can still obviously see me right here, but I'm going to have to adjust what I'm doing, because apparently I'm having the issue. But I do have a plan. So let me finish this problem with you guys so that you have this information. Let me finish this problem with you. And then I'm going to tell you what my plan is for moving forward with this. So the way that I am going to finish said problem is like this. That's why I have multiple cameras going on here. Oh, happy day. Anyway, let's finish this problem up. So with this problem, like I said, we knew it was a 65-degree angle. We did the conversion of the feet per second in order to get the hang time. And now we know it's 5.48 in terms of hang time. So it's just a matter of plugging these numbers into their appropriate location. D should be equal to 96.8 times cosine of 65 times 5.48. And you need to make sure you have the proper units for that. Again, 65 is in degrees, no big deal there. You gotta make sure your calculator's in the right setting. 96.8 has to be in feet per second, and the time has to be in seconds. So I'm gonna throw this calculator out here. 96.8 times cosine of 65 times 5.48. Let me throw in there. There we go. Chapow! Now, remember, this distance is measured in feet. This distance is measured in feet. So this is approximately 224.18 feet. Now we're playing football. We're playing football. So this guy is obviously 5.48 seconds in the air. We're trying to figure it out, but he's going to be kicking it a certain number of yards. Just to divide it by 3 converts it into yards. This is a 74.73 yard kick. I'm going to leave it in feet just for the sake of argument. This is a stinking good punt. And it just so happens it was done by the best punter in the league, Sam Cook of the Baltimore Ravens. Just for the sake of argument. Oh, what a fun day. Anyway, now in terms of angle velocity, like I said, those were the main 2 formulas that you needed to use, and these are 2 very good examples as to how to go about doing that. What I had intended to do, which I may have to save this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to save this for next week. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the circumstances of my second camera crapping out, I'm going to have to save this for next week when I actually have the ability to move around and not have to hold a camera by hand. But I'm going to save the lesson for next week, where it's a little bit of a game in terms of, okay, what angle do you pick, what velocity do you pick in order to have a minimum hang time versus the distance, because you don't want to kick it directly into the end zone. You want to kick it kind of within 10 yards of the end zone. So, but we'll talk about that. So remember, you do have that worksheet to get done for me. Unfortunately, I am going to end this lesson a tiny bit early because of the circumstances of my camera right now. Which next week should not be an issue, simply because I'll be back in my classroom next week, and it hopefully shouldn't be an issue. But I thank you guys for showing up this morning. For you guys that are here, and we will get back into it starting Tuesday. So we'll see you then. And again, remember, you do have that worksheet. If you have any questions, make sure that you are emailing me. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.